Hey Sheldon, can you just discuss how the responsibilities are going to break down between Mike and between Guy and what they'll be responsible for?
Yeah, sure. So Guy essentially would come in as Spencer Carberry's into Spencer Carberry's role as power play coach. But obviously, with Guy, you get a lot more with his experience and his skill set as a head coach, and I really came to value that with what Spencer himself brought, being a head coach at the HL level. But with Guy, he has a great skill set. He is very passionate about the power play first and foremost. So that was exciting right from the start. And I've known Guy for quite some time now. We've talked a lot over the years, and I've known that the power play is an area that he's very passionate about. So that was how that situation played out. But again, through the process of interviewing people, you talk through different things. And I initially was speaking with Mike Van Ryn as well about the power play position, and through that process thought he could help us in other areas. So Mike Van Ryn will run the defense with us. Dean Chanel will continue to lead the penalty kill, and will support Mike Van Ryn in the running of the defense on the bench, but his main focus will be the penalty kill. Manny Malholtra's role will remain unchanged in terms of the face-offs and the pre-scouts, and he's done a tremendous job for us in that area. He'll move up to the eye in the sky position, which is one that we really haven't had since Paul McLean's time with us. So we'll have that position filled now as well. I think it's as complete a staff as we've had in my time, and again, with the focus being putting together the best possible staff to help us win. I feel very strongly we've been able to accomplish that. And while everybody has individual roles, of course, and focuses, the NHL schedule and the demands of the schedule and preparing our players. I think having these resources is tremendous for us, but it's a very collaborative staff, and that's how I want it. That's how I run my team and our staff, and everybody will be able to assist one another. We've got a tremendous amount of experience within our coaching staff here now.
Next, we'll go to Lance Hornby, Toronto Sun. Go ahead, Lance.
Hey, Sheldon, could I just ask about the experience angle? You touched on it, but you have Guy, who's coached in a million places, and you have Van Ryn, who played a lot in the NHL. What are those assets bring to you in terms of added help for you and the rest of the staff?
Well, yeah, again, just tremendous experiences for both of them. I think you're selling Van Ryn short here when talking about his playing career, because he's also won the Stanley Cup running the defense in St. Louis, and was a great head coach himself with the Tucson Roadrunners and in the American League and in Kitchener before that. I've known Mike back from my days coaching junior hockey, and we've stayed in touch quite a bit. So we've got a great relationship there, and he's done a lot to develop as a coach. And I think, the playing experience you mentioned, I think is valuable, but most importantly, how he's developed as a coach and the experiences that he's gotten being a part of St. Louis's staff and his own development as a head coach. I think both he and Guy just bring a great skill set to our staff. And when you want to be collaborative staff, you want people to be versatile and be able to help you in all sorts of different ways, while still focusing on whatever their main focus is and executing that. And if we were going to be collaborative, we want to have great people, and I certainly feel confident about that.
A quick follow, if you don't mind. You mentioned a passion that Guy would bring to the power play. Is that for the talent that you have, or something new he might be able to bring there that could make it even more potent?
Well, I think it's just if you speak with Guy Boucher, the power play he believes is a real strength of his as a coach, dating back to when he first started in junior hockey, working his way up through the World Juniors and ultimately to the NHL. Even as a head coach, the power play is something that he spent a lot of time with and feels very strongly about. I think he, like anybody that I spoke to through this process, is very excited about the opportunity to work with elite players like we have. It's been a very successful power play here especially in the last couple of years, that Spencer Carberry did a terrific job for us. And because of the job that Spencer Carberry did, to me, the standard is set and it's really high. The expectations of our players is really high. So this was a very important hire that I brought somebody in with great experience and a great skill set to be able to work with them. And again, it's not just the passion that he has, but he's got a great philosophy with it and recognizes the strengths of our power play, and I think can work with that and enhance that and continue to build our group that way.
Next, we go to Stéphane Cadorette from Le Journal de Montréal. Go ahead, Stéphane.
Hi, Sheldon. I'm just curious because you talked about the fact that you've known Guy for a few years now. I'm just curious to know what's the connection there between you guys, and how have you met him and stuff.
Yeah, well, in my time here as coach of the Leafs, we've had available positions previously, and Guy and I had spoken about those at different times. It just wasn't a fit, and the timing wasn't right at that time. But again, with an available position here now, we had spoken again and spent significant time together as I was going through the process with a number of others. Spent even more with Guy, and ultimately just found it as a great fit for where we're at and what we need here. As I just alluded to with Spencer Carberry's departure, the standard is very high, and we need a very experienced and confident coach to be able to come in and fill that position. So, over the course of time and the history that Guy and I have together and the communication we've had over the years, that certainly helped, but it was really solidified by the time that we spent together. It started, frankly, through a lot of this process with Guy and others. I asked Shane Doan to sit in and take part in some of the early discussions with different candidates to gain a different perspective. But from there, once we narrowed it down, it was about me finding the right fit and spending time one-on-one with different people and in person and working through that. And it was extensive. I believe these are very important hires, and as a result, you need to be extremely thorough. And I believe that we were, and had to seek great patience with different people. But ultimately, the more and more time I spent with Guy, it was very clear that he'd be a great fit for us.
Was there any hesitation regarding the fact that he's been out of the league for 3 to 4 years now?
Well, I think I wouldn't call it hesitation necessarily, but that, of course, is why you probably spend even more time talking with him and making sure that he still has that fire and that passion for coaching and is still in tune with what's happened in the league and what's going on. Obviously, he has been connected with the league in his role in media. So that in itself is, helps ease some of that. But again, I ask more questions, you dig in more, that you have to, you don't have as short a window in terms of looking at where he's been in the past year, say, like in Mike Van Ryn's case. So you're asking more questions, you're spending more time to be certain with where he's at. And again, the more time I spent with him, it was very clear that he hasn't missed a step in that sense, and is very excited to get back to work. And we're of course excited to have him.
All right, we'll get to two more here, beginning with Mark Masters, TSN. Go ahead, Mark.
Sheldon, what's your perspective on some of the signings and changes Brad has made and how that might change the dynamic of the roster for next season?
I was going to wonder who would be the first to ask a non-coaching question, Mark. So congratulations, win. But listen. I really like the guys that we've added here. This, of course, is not the time for me to speak about that. I'll get a lot more than enough time to speak about how excited I am about our signings and our additions. The process, most importantly, that Brad went through to be able to fill the holes that we had with some of the players that left our lineup, have me very excited. My main focus, of course, has been solidifying our coaching staff. And now that we have this done, I'm even more excited to dig in and get to work even further on preparing our team for camp and getting to know the individuals even that much more.
Well, I will ask a coaching question then. In your experience, what sort of difference do you think this makes when you do bring in a couple new voices on the team and helps you, I guess, next season?
Well, in my experience, it's been very positive. If I reflect back, it's a similar process we went through back when we were seeking to replace Dave Haxtell, we ended up hiring not just Dean Chenault, but also Spencer Carberry at that time. And I think as you go through this, as I say, you are always working with the goal in mind of giving your team and your organization the best opportunity to succeed. I'm very fortunate that we have an organization here that will provide me with any of the resources that I think can help us win. And there's no hesitation to add an additional guy to our staff. Because of that, I think you just get excited and you feel really confident that with the resources you have, you're going to most importantly be able to provide the players with everything that they need to be at their best. And it's going to be a collaborative staff. While everybody has their own role, it's a collaborative staff, and the great experiences that we have and the voices and personalities. I'm really excited to get everybody together and get to work.
And last one here, we'll go to Luke Fox with sportsnet.ca. Go ahead, Luke.
Hi, Sheldon. Just curious, like how you would describe this summer for you personally. I mean, with Brad coming in and then being tasked with trying to fill out your staff, like have you had any time to breathe, like in July at all, or?
Well, I'm on vacation right now, so
Okay.
this is a little bit of a sample of how it's been. It's been it's been busy. There's been a lot going on, but as much as you want downtime, and it's really important. I mean, I'm really excited and passionate about what I do and what my job is and what my responsibility is. So getting to know and work with new people, like I said, with Brad and Shane Doan coming in, I talked about that at the draft. That's been really great for me. It's been exciting. It's at times uncomfortable as I've gone through my process, and then anytime you're looking to hire people, that is a sometimes challenging process as well to make sure you're finding the right fit. Obviously, in our situation, as I said, with the standard being so high, we want to make sure we get it right. So you spend even more time. So I wouldn't necessarily say that the off season has really begun, but I enjoy being busy, and then we'll find some time here as we get towards August to relax. But I've enjoyed spending some time here and there to be able to catch my kids in their summer sports and all of that sort of stuff, and we'll have more than enough time to recharge for the season.
Nice. And just, has there been any progress on your own extensions? That's still something on the back burner for now.
Yeah, it's something that's been mentioned a number of times from Brad, that we're going to get to that. But really, both of us have been focused on our own individual roles. For me, as I've talked a lot about here, is just this process to solidify our coaching staff. And Brad has a number of other things that are at the top of the list for him. I'm not too concerned about it at this point in time. I've really just enjoyed my time working with Brad and have been so focused on this process that the other stuff to me will work itself out over time.